Okay, thanks for coming, everyone. This should be relatively quick. Just gonna go over a few things that were updated in the last release, the 1.3. If you don't know who I am, I'm Nolan Fast. I'm the designer for the software and then also the customer experience manager. But some of the big things that we're going to cover is the user profile has changed a little bit, kind of how it works, what your account page looks like. And we've added a pretty robust roles and permissions feature. So I'll go over that and how that works and what that means. The toolbar, if you've been on the site, that has obviously changed. So I will go over kind of how that works and what it can do. There's also been some changes to QuickView that have made it much more responsive. And I'll kind of show you as best I can on the computer kind of what those changes were and what that means. The alerts are much easier to set up now, and we've added a couple extra ones. So I'll show you how to set those up and what the new ones are. And then truck space. I'll show you what that is, how to set up a truck, and what exactly that means. Let's go. I'll pull up BinCloud here. So you'll notice now when you log in, you should see your name up in the top right corner. And then you should see right here, it says feed view demo, but you should see your account name, like your business name right here. And if you click on your name, you'll see logout and profile. So you click on profile. If you are an admin, this is what your screen should look like. You should see your information here, your account's information, and then your subscription information, as well as some more in-depth stuff here for subscription, your sites, and your users. This is kind of the idea is that it's an overview of your account, and then from here you can update your information. So if you wanted to change your email, change your name for any reason, add a phone number, or change your password, you got to put in your current password and then your new password, and then you can update from right here. And then if you're an admin, you can update your account info. Or if you'd like to, if you see something down here that you needed to change, you can just jump straight to say, like here, I wanted to add a new user. I could just jump straight to that. But you can still get to this from account and profile. So that's all still there. It's just tried to make like a nice one-stop shop to where you could get an overview of everything. And so I will let that roll into roles and permissions. So from your users page, this looks generally the same. But if we add a new user here, we can say John Doe email.com. We want to make this person. So here you'll see that the roles. Right now the default one should be admin and viewer. So if we'd like to add a role, that you should see under account, roles and permissions. Currently, these are the two default ones that you can't change or delete, but you can now add whatever you wanted. And say you wanted to name this general role. And you'd say this person you wanted to do specific things. You just go through the list here, pick which ones you want them to be able to do. Don't pick the ones you don't want them to do, obviously, and hit create. And now we have this general role. And when you click on these, so if somebody can manage orders, that means that they can do anything and everything with orders. If you want somebody to manage sites, they can create, update, delete. So just be aware that when you're adding those things, that you are giving them those options. But if we go back to users, not sure what happened there. If we add a user, we now have general role as a role to add to this person. And then I'm not sure if this is something that we really covered, but you can also, if you'd like to restrict them to only a certain site or only certain feed bins, you just assign them their bins or their vessels, pick the ones you want them to be able to see and mess with, and then hit submit, and that'll lock them into that and that role. All right, so next up I want to talk a little bit about this toolbar. So this toolbar, first thing you'll see over here is this little drop down. So on this demo, I've set up 2 sites. So right now it's on all. I can click here, I can pick site 1 or site 2, or I can use the arrows. So if you had a bunch of sites, you could just go back and forth in between them, or look at all of them and that'll show you everything. And then this icon here just resets your view. So if I went in and messed with this and made it, now you can't see everything very well, we can just hit that and it'll put it back to fit on the screen. Then if you click the wrench, it'll drop down this toolbar, or alternatively, you can just click on this little handle and you can see it moves when you hover over it, and that'll drop down this toolbar. And then here you can do your filtering. So if I wanted to filter by something specifically, looking for, say, bin 2, there we can see bin 2. Otherwise, you could always come over here, contains, and use this way. This is kind of the way it was before. So we've retained both of those options. And then we can clear that by hitting that. Should also see these guys in. This is where before you would come to here and you'd have to pick the filter or the columns. Now, if you hop into the toolbar, you'll see it up here, and this will update as you click on it. So you can see what's coming and what's going. And then close that. This button does its usual, resets the thing back to the grid back to default. So only do that if it's really messed up or somebody tells you to. Otherwise, you're going to lose all your personalized setup here. And then export. And then this is something that we're kind of working on. So currently, I don't have any sensors that will work with that, but stay tuned for some exciting stuff for that. One other note is, in the past when we would do an update, I know a lot of times we had to have you click the reset to default to make everything appear the way you wanted. That has been fixed with this update, so you'll notice that you don't have to do that anymore. So that is exciting. Now, if we hop over to QuickView, on the surface, it doesn't look too much different. You'll notice that now there's 4 options here instead of 2. But one nice change, if you shrink this down, it's now going to shrink down in a much better way, in a way that's much more intuitive. And also, if you pop this open on your phone, you'll notice that it fits far better. You'll still have trouble if you're trying to view this, just because you're trying to view a lot of data in a small screen. But your quick view, you should now be able to bring open on your phone. Just make sure when you pop it up, you collapse that menu, and you should be just fine. Now these spaces here, if you want something else here, go ahead and click on the gear, and now you'll see these 4 options here correlate with these 4 spaces. And say we wanted, say, ration, you could change it to truck space, whatever you want. If there's a unit that you can select, you'll be able to select that here. And then the HUD display is this percentage here. If you wanted to change that to volume, you can hit save. And now that card is updated. So now you can customize each one of these cards however you want, and it will retain that information. All right, I'm going to pop this back open. So The alerts before was admittedly a little cumbersome to get set up, so we've gone ahead and completely redone that process. The alerts table is relatively the same, but now when you create alert, it's going to walk you through that process by asking you a series of questions. So if we want to create a vessel alert, it's going to ask level, temperature, status. You're all used to level, but I'm going to show you how that process is kind of different now. So down here is the alert details. So if we say the bin is low, and we want to be alerted when it is below 5, we'll say you can do percent, tons, distance. For this, we'll just say tons. Let it be critical, email and text, notify me, and that will create one alert, but you can add up to, I believe, 4 with the new pop-up. Say percent, critical, create. So now I created 2 within that pop-up, and you'll notice that it created 2 separate alerts here. And you can go in and update each specific one as needed. Now, as far as the new alerts, we can go ahead and show you that here. So if you select system health, you can now set up an alert for a specific sensor or a gateway. So if I wanted an alert to know if a sensor went down or wasn't working, say you had one that was a little tricky or it was very important that it wasn't down, you can come down here and say sensor critical, and I want to know if it hasn't had a good reading in 24 hours. And notify me and create alert. And you can go through these. If you look at alert type, you can see which is which. And we can even sort it by each type to make it a little easier. And gateway has the same process, but since gateways are either inactive or active, you can just say gateway is down and let me know and hit create. And now you can see we have gateway, level, and sensor. And then one other thing is if you create a status alert for your vessels, you can trigger that off of the vessels running, active, multiple are running, and multiple are critical. Like you could before, it's just we've made it a little easier to get to that. And now I'd like to talk a little bit about truck space. So you'll see here we got truck space and trucks to empty. What that's saying is when I come into my trucks location, if I create a truck that is, we'll say this is the delivery truck. It has one compartment that holds 20, we'll leave that on tons. And we'll say I want to assign that to, we can sort it down by site 1 or site 2. We'll say fake vessel 1. And then we can also assign that as a secondary to any other we would like. We'll hit submit. And so now we've set up this delivery truck and we have this demo truck. If we come back to our dashboard, we'll see that the space in the truck, like the head space, we can fit 0.86 of this truck into this vessel, and that'll bring the vessel up to full. Or if we wanted to empty it, we know that we can take out 0.15. We could fill up 0.15 of a truck with what's left in here. So if you're waiting to put in a full truck into the vessel, here this is about looks like a little over 16-ton vessel. This truck is set up to 16 tons, so it's empty. We can fit a hair over 1 full truck into it. And you can also see that information over here on QuickView. So we got this set up on this truck space, and then we will do trucks to empty right there, hit save. So for this group, we can put in a little over 1.5 of this truck, and we can take out about a half truck for the group. If you want to know specifically for each bin, if you hover it over it, you'll see the little pop-up. You can fit 0.7 into that bin and take out 0.3. And then one other thing I wanted to mention, if any of you use FOE metafarms, we have added a file uploader. So over here, click on that, and then we select the files, and then you'll upload an Excel file that you get from FOE, and that will automatically, if you're using feed groups, it will automatically update feed groups and head counts. But that is something that you'll have to let us know, and you can talk to us through chat or give us a call so that we can get that set up for you. Now, and I know I went pretty quick here, but all of this information will be recorded and posted. And everything I just talked about, we can, everything I talked about, I saw your question, Holly, I'll get right back to you. Everything we talked about will also be on support.binmaster.com. It's kind of our help desk. So if you come down here, you can see guides, videos, and software announcements. You can see the BinCloud version 1.3 release notes and updates. Everything that I talked about is listed here, but as always, the easiest way to get some help, click the support button in the top right or the question marks, and then you can use live chat to talk to myself or Jacob, and Jacob's our customer service guy, and either one of us can help you out or get you where you need to go. Okay, so Holly said, was the truck capacity aligned per bin? Okay, so you have multiple different truck sizes. So all you have to do, so you can make as many trucks as you want. And right now it's set up so you have a primary and a secondary truck. So here, let's see. So I believe I added, yep, so that's the secondary for bin 2 and bin 3. And this is the primary for bin 2 and bin 3. There we go. So I just opened up bin 2, and out here in this card, you can see the truck space for bin 1. It has the primary from demo truck, and then bin 2 has the demo truck and the delivery truck we set up. So you can see both trucks. Hopefully that answers your question. Does anybody else have any specific questions that you can throw into the chat, and we can see if we can get them covered? All right, doesn't look like it. So again, this is posted on the support.binmaster.com. That'll take you to this page. Just scroll down to software announcements. You can see BinCloud release notes and updates, and that'll give you, these are the bigger interface updates that you might have questions about. And again, the easiest part to get help if you can't find something or something isn't working right, just click that support button and somebody will chat with you immediately and we can answer that question right away. All right, thanks everybody for coming. Thanks for using BinCloud. As always, me and Jake are here every day, so let us know if you need anything, and I hope you have a good day.